The sun glared against the glass walls of the towering mansion, where laughter and arrogance often filled the air. Inside, the CEO of one of the city's biggest tech firms leaned back in his leather chair, smirking as he tossed a broken prototype onto the table. "Fix this," he said with a mocking grin, "and I'll give you my mansion." His words were meant as a joke, a cruel one, directed at the maid standing quietly in the corner. She had been working for his family for years, cleaning up the messes no one else wanted to deal with. Her name was Denise, a woman who carried quiet dignity, even when life gave her none. What the CEO didn't know was that Denise's teenage son, Malik, had been watching from the hallway. He'd always been curious about the gadgets scattered around the mansion, fascinated by how things worked, even when no one encouraged him. Malik wasn't rich, but he had a mind that saw solutions where others saw problems. That night, while the house slept, he picked up the broken device and turned it in his hands, studying it like a puzzle waiting to be solved by sunrise. Something incredible had happened, something the CEO never imagined possible. But when Malik stepped forward to show what he had done, the room fell silent. The smirk faded from the CEO's face, and suddenly his challenge didn't seem like a joke anymore. Denise had always tried to keep Malik away from the arrogance that filled the mansion. She told him to focus on his studies, to dream big, but stay humble. Life hadn't been easy for them, ever, since his father passed away. Denise had taken any job she could to keep a roof over their heads. Working as a maid for the wealthy CEO, Mr. Caldwell, paid the bills, but it also reminded her daily of how unfair the world could be. Still, she never complained. She worked quietly, her pride resting not in money but in the brilliance of her son. Malik had always been different. While other kids played video games, he'd spend hours fixing old radios and laptops people threw away. His teachers said he had a natural gift for engineering, but scholarships were hard to come by when you came from the wrong side of town. The mansion, however, was a world of innovation filled with high-end technology that fascinated him every time he came to help his mom after school. That night, the broken prototype on the CEO's desk called to him. He couldn't sleep, not when he knew he might be able to figure it out. He studied the wires, the circuits, the failed coding sequence. It wasn't just a gadget, it was a project that even the CEO's top engineers couldn't solve. And yet Malik's instincts told him there was a missing connection no one else had noticed. His fingers trembled as he began to work, unaware that what he was about to fix could change everything. By morning, Malik sat at the kitchen table with the device in front of him, its tiny screen now glowing faintly. Denise walked in, half awake and already dressed for work. When she saw what her son was holding, her breath caught. "Malik, what did you do?" she whispered, afraid even to touch it. He hesitated before answering. I think I fixed it, Mom." His voice was unsure, but his eyes held something stronger, hope. At the mansion, Mr. Caldwell was pacing the hallway, shouting at his assistant about investors and deadlines. The broken prototype was supposed to be the key to a new deal worth millions. But after months of failed attempts, his team had given up. When Denise arrived with Malik beside her, she almost turned back, but Malik insisted. He wanted to show the CEO what he'd done, even if no one believed him. Inside the sleek office, Malik placed the small device on the desk. The CEO barely looked up, smirking. "You again? Thought you'd come to clean, not play scientist." But then Malik pressed a button, and the device powered up perfectly, its holographic interface spinning to life. The room went quiet. Behind the stunned CEO, his chief engineer, Mr. Owens, narrowed his eyes. "How did you fix that?" he demanded. Malik explained simply, pointing to the flaw in the design. Owens frowned, realizing Malik was right, but envy flickered in his expression. He wasn't about to let a maid's son steal the spotlight. Not in this house. The CEO leaned back slowly, his confident grin returning, but this time it carried a hint of unease. He turned the device in his hands, watching the holographic display move smoothly, flawlessly, something his top engineers hadn't achieved after months of work. "You're telling me this boy fixed what my entire research team couldn't?" he said, his voice calm but cold. Denise lowered her eyes, unsure how to respond. Malik stood tall, his heart pounding but his gaze steady. "I just found what was missing," he said quietly. Mr. Owens stepped closer, his tone sharp. "There's no way he did this alone. He must have seen our internal designs." Malik frowned. "No, sir, I figured it out myself." The engineer's expression hardened. "You're lying," he snapped, grabbing the prototype. The tension in the room grew thick as silence fell over everyone. The CEO's curiosity deepened. "Let's test it," he said finally. He placed the device on the table and connected it to the main console. The screen lit up with graphs, data streams, and flawless readings. It was perfect. The CEO's smile disappeared. This wasn't luck, it was genius. But instead of praise, whispers started spreading through the staff and engineers watching from the doorway. Some were amazed, others jealous. Denise's hands trembled as she saw the look in the CEO's eyes change, not admiration, but calculation. Malik could feel it too. He had proved his brilliance, but something told him he wasn't being celebrated. He was being studied. Before Malik could even step back, the CEO's tone shifted. "Interesting," Mr. Caldwell said slowly, his eyes fixed on the glowing device. "You're telling me you just Stumbled upon the answer my experts couldn't find. Malik nodded, unsure if he had done something wrong. Caldwell exchanged a look with Mr. Owens, whose expression was tight and uneasy. Run a diagnostic, the CEO ordered. Owens hesitated, typing quickly, but the results only confirmed what they feared: the device worked better than before. Instead of being impressed, Caldwell's voice grew colder. You've done something clever here, son, he said, but this is proprietary technology. It belongs to my company. Denise stiffened. Sir? He didn't take anything, she said softly. He only fixed what you said was broken. Caldwell gave a low laugh. And you believed I was serious about giving away my mansion. That was a joke. Malik's stomach dropped. The laughter around the room was gone, now replaced with silence and suspicion. Owens whispered something to Caldwell, and the CEO's smile faded into a calculating stare. Still, he said, if this boy can do what my team couldn't, he must have had help or access. 2 security guards appeared at the door. Denise stepped protectively in front of her son. You can't take him, she said, her voice shaking. Caldwell folded his arms. Then prove it, he said coldly. Prove he didn't steal from me. Malik looked at the device still glowing on the desk, realizing his greatest achievement might now destroy everything. Malik stood frozen, his mind racing as the guard stepped closer. Denise's hand clutched his arm, her fear hidden behind calm defiance. My son didn't steal anything, she said firmly. Caldwell's smirk returned. Then you won't mind if we check his things. Malik reached into his backpack and pulled out a small notebook filled with hand-drawn circuits, codes, and sketches. The CEO snatched it, flipping through the pages. His smugness faltered as he realized the designs were far beyond anything his own team had produced. Malik had built an improved version of the prototype from pure understanding. Owen's voice trembled. These aren't our schematics, he admitted. He really did it. For a moment, the room went silent. Caldwell's expression darkened. He couldn't deny the truth, but he also couldn't stand the idea that a maid's son had outsmarted him. Well, he said finally, forcing a smile, a deal's a deal. His words carried the same mocking tone as before, but Denise didn't move. Malik looked him in the eye. I don't want your mansion, he said. I want credit for my work. Caldwell's smile faded. Before he could respond, Owens stepped forward. Sir, he said quietly, we should talk. Investors are asking who fixed the prototype. Caldwell froze, realizing the news had already spread through the company. Cameras and reporters were waiting outside. As the doors opened, Malik and Denise walked out into the sunlight, not as servants but as the faces of genius and dignity. Behind them, Caldwell's empire began to crumble, all because of one promise he never meant to keep. In the days that followed, news about Malik spread faster than anyone expected. The story of the young boy who fixed what a billionaire CEO's entire team couldn't became a headline across tech forums and business networks. Reporters called him a prodigy, while others called him a reminder that true talent has no title, race, or privilege. Denise watched quietly from their small apartment, her heart full of pride. She never wanted fame, only a better life for her son. And now it was finally happening. Mr. Caldwell tried to control the narrative, claiming the success was his company's work, but investors and the media demanded the truth. When Malik's notebook was shown publicly with his sketches, formulas, and handwritten notes, it was undeniable. The company's board turned on Caldwell, and within weeks, he was forced to resign. Meanwhile, Malik received a scholarship from a top university that wanted to support his passion for engineering. Denise left her job at the mansion, walking out with her head held high. The same steps she once scrubbed every morning now echoed with her quiet triumph. One evening, Malik stood outside their new home, looking up at the stars. You know, he said softly, I didn't fix that device for money or a mansion. I just wanted to prove that even people like us can build something that matters. Denise smiled, her eyes shining. And you did, baby, she whispered. You fixed more than a machine, you changed our story.